Hey there, and welcome to the White Canvas podcast, where today we're going to be talking about what it means for an application to be mobile first. And for today's podcast, we have Nicolas Pisani, who's the founder and CEO at White Canvas. And Nicolas, welcome to the White Canvas podcast. How are you today?
Hey Vasile, thanks a lot. Doing great. It's a pretty exciting topic, so I'm looking forward to discussing about that.
Awesome, man. It's our, it's a really cool topic because I feel like a lot of people have probably visited websites and experienced that mobile first experience. But I'm so excited that today we actually get to talk about it and explain in more detail about this. And how would you describe what it means for an application to be mobile first?
Cool. So basically it's what the word stands for. So mobile first design, it's starting with mobile, designing the application or your website on the mobile view first, and then growing that from there to the tablet version and to desktop version. So whenever you start designing the application, you really focus on how the experience is going to look like while using your mobile device.
So when the UX and UI team are basically designing that mobile first user experience, how is the process, I guess, similar to that of designing a website? And how is it, not similar?
The users browsing the web are mostly browsing the web on their mobile devices. I think it's like 57% or so are browsing the web using their mobile devices. So it's pretty important to get the mobile designs right and making sure that the website is optimized for that. So pretty much the process is the same as designing a regular desktop website in terms of understanding what are the goals for the website, what are the primary call to actions that you want to use, what the website it's trying to do, the information that you're trying to show and everything, but then optimizing every component on the website mobile first to achieve that goal. So for instance, if your goal is to convert and to get people to sign up on a form, then probably instead of using a pop-up or something, you'll have the form right away and not hidden on a model box, the ones that pop up, because it's pretty annoying completing those kind of forms on a mobile device. And it's not annoying completing those forms on the desktop version. So that are the little differences that whenever you are starting with a mobile first approach, you need to think and need to understand to make it really user friendly.
What's an example of so like if you were to put a pop-up form, right? Like maybe 10% discount for Black Friday. We had that recently, right? How would you integrate this idea into a mobile first user experience?
If the only purpose of that form is going to be just inputting your email, that's something that probably you can get away with that, and it's kind of like one way to go, because the pop-up is like you log into a website, 5 seconds go by or whatever, and then you have the pop-up and say, hey guys, subscribe to get the discount, and that's fine. The thing is, when it starts to get more complicated is when you need to fill out a form that it's like has multiple fields, because then you'll need to start scrolling inside the form, inside the website, and it's kind of junky how everything starts moving around. So those are the moments where probably you'll need to go for the form directly on the site and not on on a pop-up.
Oh, for sure. I know that one of the tools that is really popular for making sure that when we design those pop-ups is DevTools. Can you just briefly highlight how DevTools can be used to optimize for the different types of mobile devices? Like we have iPhones, we have Samsungs, but how is DevTools used for this?
That's not a part of the process, of the design process itself, but it's super important that you pointed out, because directly contributes to the user experience. So all the dev tools that you can use, for instance, Google has some speed test insights to see how fast your website is loading. And that is key. Like when you are referring to mobile, it's super important to have your website optimized for speed, to load fast, because a lot of the times you are using your mobile devices, and yeah, you probably, if you are on the city, you get a decent 4G network and the website should load fast, but sometimes that's not the case, and you are like somewhere where the connection is not great, and if the website is heavy and it doesn't load instantly, then you're gonna lose that user. So if it's taking forever to load, then that's probably a user that it's gonna leave and it's not gonna convert on your website. So Google has these tools where you can submit the URL, and if you're watching this podcast, if you have a website and you want to test it out, you can go to search Google page speed, and then you'll find a website where you can put your URL, and Google will do an audit of your website, and it's gonna say, all right, in desktop you have like this scoring and this scoring on mobile, and this is what you can do to optimize your website to load even faster. So yeah, that's a pretty good tool to use, and it's something that it's not only gonna help you improve your user experience and improve conversions, but also it's something that is gonna help you rank higher with the SEO, because Google is paying a lot of attention to how fast the website loads to rank you on the SEO side of things.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of Google's, there's also Google Analytics. How does like Google Analytics like fit into this experience? I'm sure you get a lot of user behavior data, but like how would you describe like the benefits of having Google Analytics in creating a mobile first user experience?
So Google Analytics, basically it's a really powerful tool that what it does is like it allows you to see a lot of insights of your website. Like you install a snippet of code on your website, and then you'll have a lot of different metrics that you can use later on to improve your website and to see how people are interacting with your website. So even though I've said like 57% of all the searches on the website are made using a mobile device, you need to understand what your target audience is, because maybe, I don't know, like you're shooting out to a specific niche or something where your users are browsing the website using a desktop, and that's completely fine. So Google Analytics will show you that, and it will say, hey, this amount of users are searching your website using this device, this browser, and you can really optimize for that particular device. So maybe, I don't know, like everyone's surfing your website using an iPad, and there you go. You need to go ahead and make sure that your website is optimized for iPad and it looks amazing on the iPad, and that's where you're gonna get the most out of it.
Oh, for sure. I know like some of the projects, and we spoke about this just a second ago about using DevTools. Like I like to use DevTools and really like drill into the different like views that you can see like between like an iPhone 10 and like the iPad, and it really like, in a way, it's very dynamic because it does like change the outlay of the forms. But it's nice that like the website is able to like optimize for that. Now there's also something else called like responsive web. Can you like briefly touch on that, like sort of explain how that is like different or like similar to a mobile first user experience?
Yeah, responsive refers to like how the website reacts to different screen sizes or different devices. So like a website can be responsive and be mobile first or not be mobile first. So basically like a mobile first responsive design will start with your cell phone, and then what you said on the code, it's like whenever the device or screen size is higher than this amount of pixels, then change the layout to this particular layout, and then when you grow even further, you change it again. So that's how the mobile first approach responsive design is going to look like. You start from mobile and you grow all the way up to large screens, and you can go the other way around and say, all right, let's start with desktop with this large screen, and then when the screen size starts to reduce a bit, you start to shift the layout around and adapt your desktop screen to mobile. So it's pretty much the same. It's a different starting point. Like you start with mobile or you start with desktop, and you respond to the different screen sizes from one to the other.
Okay. So I'm curious, like, where do you think is like the better user interaction with the application? Is it on desktop or is it on mobile? I know, like you said, that sure, like people, spend a lot of time. Well, most of the traffic comes from mobile, but like, any idea like on how much time they actually spend on the respective applications?
That'll depend. I don't know. Like, I mean, it's not a website, but for instance, Instagram, like nobody uses Instagrams on their desktop. I'm not sure if there are people using Instagram on desktop. There are a lot of functionalities that you cannot even use on desktop. So that's an example of a website that it's better to use on mobile than on desktop. But then there are a lot of other applications like YouTube, for instance. You can use it on mobile. I use it a lot on mobile, but I hate watching the videos on my small iPhone. So I'll rather use it on my computer or even on my TV. So depending on what your application or your website purpose is, maybe it's fit better on one device or the other. So responding to your question, it'll depend on the application, the target user, and what it's intending to do.
For sure. And from like a marketing perspective, can you like share a little bit like where you see like marketing clients and advertising clients coming in and really benefiting from a mobile first user design?
I think like on the marketing side, it's really important to have like a mobile first design, because right now, like depending on what you sell, right? But there are a lot like people are on the go and they say, hey, I forgot to buy like my present for Christmas. So maybe they're on the subway going home and they start Googling around this cool gift for my sister, and then you browse a website on your mobile device and maybe even completing a purchase there. So that e-commerce store should be super optimized for mobile devices. So again, it's depending on how you're gonna, what the goal of your website is. But nowadays, and as I said in the beginning of the podcast, like a lot of people are using their mobile devices to search for the web. My cousins sometimes, like, they don't even have computers, so it's kind of like they use everything, they browse everything on their mobile. So yeah, I don't know, like it's super important to have the marketing website optimized for that, and to being able to be discovered and then to sell your product and have like a clear call to action to convert that user into a potential client.
Oh, for sure. Sounds good. I guess like the last question that I have would be, is there anything that like I didn't ask that maybe is like really important to a mobile first design and, helping the audience better like understand, that you would like to add?
What I'll say, like, I mean, it's pretty much a takeaway or a small exercise that everyone can do if they have a website. But if you have a website, you can go ahead, like, use your website on your phone and try to see if everything is clear. Like if you can tap the buttons or the call to actions easily, or if they're like too tied together, or the tap area it's way too small. If you have like huge images or videos or stuff that takes forever to load on your mobile device, and yeah, like it's good to, whenever you have your site, because sometimes it's hard to do this exercise just because you're super embedded on the development process, design process, and you are thinking about this and that. But use your site as a user will use it. I mean, try to go ahead, understand if your value proposition is clear on the mobile device. See if you can do whatever you want to do. Like if you find the contact information, if you can complete a contact form, how the experience of completing a contact form is on the mobile device. And if it's not optimized, you can get back to your development agency or come to us and we can help you out with that.
Sounds good. Sounds good, Nicolas. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to share what it means to have an application that is mobile first in terms of user experience. And thank you to everyone that's been able to tune in. And we wish everyone a wonderful day. So thank you.